Welcome to the inaugural episode of SHABLAM! I'm Lorelei.
And I'm Biotixx.
And we are a drag queen duo based in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Stars of stage and screen.
Hello.
And if you don't know who we are, that's okay.
You will soon.
We've been through a lot of casting rooms.
Yes.
And we've had a lot of no's, but hopefully this is not me knocking the camera.
It's all right.
I'm still learning about the procedures of recording a podcast.
The procedures of the pod.
I was going to say, though, this is our yes. This is our yes year. And one of those things is starting a podcast.
2025, here we are.
Is that okay?
I think it's okay. I think it's more than okay.
So many drag queens have podcasts these days.
It's true. Not only drag queens, pretty much everyone.
Pretty much has
a podcast.
Everyone has a podcast.
Yeah.
Well, we're literally in the age of like everyone thinking that they're a philosopher.
That's true.
Including me, bitch.
Oh, I know.
Trust she knows. I just turned 27 years old.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. And I like really believe that I am like a philosopher of the generation.
What makes you think that?
Look at me.
Have people told you that? Or it's been thrust upon you by your own mind?
People like to say that my drag is really interesting. Okay. And I think that's their way of saying that, I'm smart.
You're the philosopher of our generation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm the clown of the generation. Of my generation.
Well, bitch, you look like one.
Well, hello. I'm a drag queen. What do you expect?
And what's your generation again? Generation X?
No, I'm a millennial.
Oh.
I'm the world's oldest millennial.
I was gonna say, are you at the? Well, you know what's funny though is that I'm like the oldest Gen Z.
Yes,
we're both at the top of our generations.
Right? Is there a generation in between us or no? I don't even know.
The pussy generation.
Hello.
Get into that. No, but for real,
it's millennial.
Millennial, Gen Z. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're right behind each other. But this is actually an excellent introduction to something that we kind of have to address right away.
Which is
you're older than me.
Oh, yes. Surprise!
Annie is...
I actually recently had a birthday, too. A couple months ago. That's recent.
Wait, we're literally recording this in December. My birthday was December 6th, and yours was...
October 5th.
Okay, bitch. So that wasn't recently.
By the time this comes out, though,
it's going to be like last year. So... No, yeah, but we are... Annie's my older sister, in a sense.
Yeah, we're from two different generations. I feel like we're very different, but we also share a lot of similarities.
Should we talk about why we're starting a podcast?
Yeah, why not? We need to talk about why it's called SHABLAM.
Right. So let's get right into that.
Let's do it.
Thanks for listening. If you're listening to this, it's because you're looking for someone to key with. You're looking for someone to get down into the culture, into the news, into the lifestyle of today.
Yeah, two drag queens, working drag queens in the city of Los Angeles, pursuing our dreams. We want you along for the ride.
Basically, Annie and I met a very sordid 2 years ago.
Yes. Well, let's get into our episode 1. Should we get into
This episode is going to be called
Villain Origin Stories. Hello.
And that's because the two of us really are the villains of Los Angeles drag.
You think so?
I think that you and I have a certain double trouble that we bring to the scene, many duos in film and TV history have been evil.
That's true.
What Trolls are some of your favorites? World Tour.
Uh-huh. I've been thinking of Boris and Natasha.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Uh-huh. There've got to be more.
What about those people in the Pokemon?
Oh, I don't know.
Team Rocket.
About
Team
Pokemon.
Rocket. Team Rocket. You're kind of looking like Team Rocket.
Okay, sure. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. No, but we're a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
That's going to be going down in villain history.
TBD. But yeah, so this episode we're going to be talking about our origin story, villain or otherwise, of how we met each other, and then our own individual villain origin stories.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it all.
First of all, though, why SHABLAM?
SHABLAM. Yes, the SHABLAM of it all.
Let's just get this right out of the way. A SHABLAM is a term that's used in ballroom dance.
Yes.
Which is a style of dance that was pioneered in the New York club scene by Black and brown trans people.
Yes.
And they were going into that gig and they were voguing. If you've heard of voguing, you may be familiar with it. And there's a move in voguing called a SHABLAM.
Yes. A lot of people mistakenly call it a death drop. which is not the correct term.
It could also be called a dip, I believe.
Yes.
But what it also is, it's an onomatopoeia. It's an onomatopoeia.
Yes.
And the term itself kind of has this like, it's a colloquialism.
Yeah.
In the scene.
It's like a shablam. When you do a shablam in a number, that's like the high point of a number. You know what I mean? It's like something everyone goes up for.
Shablam. It's
like a punctuation.
It's a punctuation of a rhythm. And so what we've decided to take onto this podcast is almost more of a theoretical approach to shablam. It's almost more of a social theory that we're developing.
Okay.
A philosophy. And that is every week we will be discussing topics to its pinnacle, to its point.
Yeah.
Until we shablam.
Shablam it.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we're getting into. We just wanted to set that record straight. We are drag queens. So, of course, we're very close to the ballroom scene in many ways. And we love that term. We say it to each other all the time. And we have a drag show called SHABLAM.
We do, a monthly show.
Yeah. So that's just that. And if you're not into that, then mwah,
bye.
Click the next episode. So Annie and I met a number of years ago.
Yeah, it's been, how long has it been now? It's been over 2 years, I'd say.
Definitely over 2 years.
Yeah.
We're getting on to our 3rd year of partnership.
Of working together. But we'd known of each other before that.
Yeah, did you know, did you hear anything about me before you met me?
Yes, I remember seeing, the first time I remember seeing the name Lorelei with you associated with it was, I believe it was your one-woman show that you did at school.
Yes,
I don't know if it just came through my Instagram feed or
I had a capstone. I had a capstone project and I did a one-woman show as part of my bachelor's in arts from the University of California of Los Angeles.
Ooh, you got a BA over here.
Big ass.
Hello. But did you have a website for that?
No.
Okay, because I remember, I don't know if I got an email or something, but I remember clicking it and seeing like clips of you performing.
Oh.
So I knew who you were, and then of course I would see your name like on posters.
Were you gagged or?
I was like, oh, this is cool.
So you weren't gagged.
I was gagged. You did. I was like, oh, I'm interested to see more from this bitch. You know what I mean?
All right.
And then the first time I saw you perform, it was during like, and so this was, I think, when did you do that show? Pre-pandemic.
2018.
Okay, yeah. And that's basically right when I kind of started drag.
Yeah, so I've actually been doing drag longer than Annie.
That's true.
Even though she's been alive longer than me.
But I've been performing for many, many, many years.
That's true. She actually has a graduate degree from Harvard.
That's true. I have an MFA.
In what? Acting?
In acting, yes.
Is the degree acting?
Yeah.
It's MFA acting?
MFA in acting.
From Harvard University.
Hello. That's
Didn't
true.
know that they were the place for that, but
well, it doesn't exist anymore.
Not anymore.
They got shut down.
Well, that would actually be a really good. That'd be a good episode.
Ooh, add it to the list.
Would be like, yeah, Alex, if you could. Alex, our producer's behind the camera, by the way. Hey,
Alex, our straight representation.
Yeah, our diversity hire.
Yes.
But yeah, a good episode would be like theater school dramas, like theater school like scandals.
Yeah. Because when I went there, it was one of the top programs in the country.
I know, and it closed for a number of reasons.
Yes.
And I went to UCLA. There's some stories there. There's some stories at NYU. We could do like research and we could get that was a really good episode idea.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. So, but yeah, we both went to theater school.
Yeah. So that's the first time I saw you.
The first time I saw you, I had a really good friend named Annie Vaxxer, and we're still friends. And so we always were aware of your presence because I was aware of another queen in the scene named Annie Biotixx, and we had this running joke that you were Tethers, basically.
Right.
And that like she was a parallel version of my friend Annie Vaxxer, who lives in New York, by the way.
Hey.
So if you're looking for a fun drag queen to book in New York, hit up Annie Vaxxer.
Hello.
But if you're in Los Angeles, you better be hitting up Annie or I.
Come on now.
Preferably both of us so that we could do a duet together, which we often do.
We do.
But that was my first time kind of getting to know you a little bit. And I honestly don't think I ever saw you perform.
Oh, well, I was going to ask, did Annie see me perform somewhere?
I don't know.
She just saw
but when I saw you for the first time at this competition that we're about to divulge into and tell you the origin story of, and this is my villain origin story for real.
This is definitely our villain origin story together as a duo.
Definitely. But I remember seeing you and being like, I know who she is, but I don't think I've ever seen her perform before. But I recognize you because Annie, you've updated it a little bit, but you used to be very like old timey and very like you had this kind of like Ethel Merman like
Oh my
howdy do kind
God.
of like
That's
aesthetic
not
going on.
the plasma
Yeah,
of
very
it all.
the plasma effect.
No, I think just
Plasmatics.
the first time you saw me, I was wearing like the Victory Roll wig and everything. So I feel like I don't think that that's true, but I think you think that because the first time you saw me, I was like that.
Well, I actually don't. I'm glad that you were that way because I think that's something that is like really a disease in Los Angeles drag is like no one dressing their age.
Uh-huh.
There's specifically like a number of older drag queens in the Los Angeles drag scene who I think would benefit from dressing their age because they're trying to dress like these younger girls who wear next to nothing and show a lot of skin and stuff. But they don't have that. So what they're doing is they're doing like skin illusions over like corsets and padding. And it's just like, girl, just put on a gown. Put on a gown. And I want to see like big pageanty makeup. You like do drag in a way that is like so appropriate for your age.
Thank you, I think.
Do you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
like you're not fooling anyone.
No, I'm not trying to I'm not the body girl. I'm not like this is all padding. I'm not trying to show anything real.
Yeah, I just feel like if you're trying to do like a body reveal and I can see like your corset poking through like your body stocking, that makes it look like you have no belly button, by the way. Anyway.
So let's get into this competition. So I'd seen you perform once before I met you.
Okay.
Do you want me to go into, should I go into when? The only thing that I remember about it is the sound went out. It was at Exposure. You were performing outside. This was shortly as things were starting to come back post like quarantine. It was like one of the first shows.
Yeah.
So it was at Exposure, but it was in the back part outside where usually we get dressed. And I went to see my good Judy Karen Beaches perform, and you were on the lineup as well. And you came out to like start your, lip sync number, but then the power went out or the sound went out. So you grabbed a mic and just started doing like stand up basically, or like improvising with the audience. God. And I was like, okay, so this bitch is funny. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then the sound went back on. You finished your number.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
Kept happening to me for some reason. I kept having technical difficulties for like a number of months. I don't know if it was me or the universe like kind of going against me. It's because of what I just said about people showing their belly buttons.
Yeah.
By the way, that doesn't have anything to do with being a big girl, a little girl. Like if you're confident showing your belly button, then you should wear the bathing suit.
Yeah, whatever the fuck you want.
But if you are going out of your way to like hide your body and stuff and then put a bathing suit, we don't need to do all that. Right. Anyway, just wanted to put that out there just so like you can see that we're woke and that we're not
oh my God.
we're a woke podcast and like we are not going to let you cancel us. Like, we're just not going to let it happen.
We'll cancel each other.
Yeah, we've done that before.
Hello.
But yeah, so that's really interesting that that was the first time you saw me. I honest to God don't think I've ever seen you perform. But
you don't go to a lot of you weren't going to a lot of the shows that I was doing. I was doing like a lot of like competitions like when I first started. That's how in LA that's how you get work.
Yeah, should we talk about that? That's kind of a good segue. Because basically, like in LA drag, you basically can't get anywhere without doing a competition.
Yeah. Except until now, there's free clinic. Hello, every week, come to my show. But LA, there are so many drag performers that it is like really, really challenging to get your foot in the door. And one of the best ways to do that for people to see you and also to get a chance to perform is competitions.
Also, like, don't get it twisted. The competitions are made by the bars so that they get more money. Or at least show producers bring the idea of competitions to the bar because it's a great way to get free labor from drag queens. And you get basically a full show's worth of drag queens.
Yeah, and a guaranteed audience.
And a guaranteed audience because everyone needs their friends there to like cheer them on so that they can win.
A lot of competitions in LA are audience-based. So it's based on how many people you can bring to get that loud audience applause to then win the competition.
So we had both done competitions in LA and we were already forming our villain origin stories. Because you can imagine how evil that makes a person.
Yep.
Having to participate in like a competition where basically the only premise for winning is a popularity contest. Yeah. You can imagine how evil you become.
Yes.
But by this point, we had already been performing a lot and there was a very special competition at the now...
R.I.P.
Oh, sorry, I just bumped my microphone again. But the now dead.
Yes.
Red Line Bar.
Yes, DTLA, Red Line Bar.
And it was a hosting competition.
The first of its kind, I think.
Do you want to kind of like explain this?
Okay, so where we met, where our Lorelei Antibiotics villain origin story started was the very first night of a competition at Redline called So Chu Think You Can Host.
Yeah.
which was the brainchild of Emmy-nominated drag queen, Los Angeles icon. Well, she is. She's been in the game a long time. Marta Bichu.
Couldn't really kind of find the word for it. Yeah.
Well, I was trying to think of like what would best describe her.
Marta Bichu.
Marta motherfucking Bichu.
That's mother.
I mean,
that is mother.
She is a mother to
many of the LA drag scene.
But anyway, so she had this new competition called So You Think You Can Host. It was basically to find the next host of a show at Redline.
Yeah, because people were doing shows. By the time Redline had closed, it was like 9 years.
Yeah.
But doing a show at Redline was once very coveted because before the tail end of its run, Redline was hosting shows with Cornbread Jeté, Sasha Colby, Pinche Queen, Angina. There was like a lot of. I know Alex really liked that drag name.
Alex is going to be learning a whole bunch of shit through this podcast. You don't even know what's in store, Alex.
No, Alex, you're a third character.
Hello.
But yeah, so a lot of greats have been doing shows at this bar. And Marta was a great too. And so she was just trying to hand the microphone down to kind of like a new generation of hosts. Yeah. Because there were like...
Selena S. Titties had a show there.
Yeah, and there were some people who were kind of like at our caliber who were like getting their shows started and stuff. But at this point, they were looking, I think, for a way to get like a major show there.
Yeah.
So they decided to do this competition as a means of like a talent search almost. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So it was like what was it, 8 weeks, 10 weeks long?
Well, it was supposed to be longer, but then so many people kept dropping out that we had to shorten the competition.
Yeah. So we started off week 1. This is where everyone meets. How many of us were there at that point? 15 maybe?
Yeah, maybe like 15.
There were 15 people. You had to did we have to submit for this?
We had to show up and we had to sign up, which you and I have contention on. I have this really
Well, Marta personally asked me to do it, so.
Okay, nobody moved. Nobody cared. And by the way, the next time you ever try to one-up me like that, like I'm actually going to quit the podcast and I'll never come back.
Okay, bye. Alex, there's an open seat.
Okay, anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, so we were doing this competition, and night 1, we had to participate in a roast.
Yes. The whole thing was, there was supposed to be no lip syncing. It was basically you're pitching your idea for a show at Redline, this bar.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a very intellectual competition until we realized that wasn't actually that entertaining.
No one wants to watch a drag queen talk about a show idea.
Because our first challenge, besides like the first week where we had to do the roast, the second week was like a PowerPoint presentation week where we all had to bring in like a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah. We're talking budgets, numbers. The audience is like, what?
Yeah, we are literally like...
People are leaving.
We literally have like slides being like, this is the type of show I would be. This is how many performers I would book. I would need this much for each performer. Like we were like literally like positioning like business plans in front of...
pitching a show.
Judges and an audience in a bar, which was like so random.
Yes.
So it eventually got to a point where we had to compromise and be like, okay, we need to incorporate some actual like drag into this competition. Yeah. So then we moved into like doing versions of our shows. Like what would like a 10-minute version of our show look like? And this was actually...
And people were getting eliminated every week. The first week was a roast. I don't know if we said that.
Yeah.
We roasted each other, and then people would get eliminated.
Eliminated every week, but it got down to like the final 5, I think, and we had to do like a 10-minute version of our show.
Yes.
And we had a 10-minute time limit.
Oh my God. I knew you were going to bring this up because...
And my villain origin story is essentially that I had no choice over the order in which we were doing our 10-minute shows.
Yes.
But we did have a set time slot and we did have to be done by a certain time, which is why everyone was only given 10 minutes because by the point that everyone did their 10-minute show, it's like 50 minutes, right?
And you were last.
Except for Biotixx, who decides to take her show well over the 10-minute mark.
See, I don't have any recollection of this.
Well, of course you don't. That's even worse. That's even worse that you were literally breaking the rules and you didn't even know it. But I remember having... like actual contempt in my heart for you. I remember like watching you because you know what you did.
I was doing so well too.
You know what
in
you
the competition, I was dominating every week. So of course,
I actually don't think that's true. I actually think I had the most wins by the end of the competition.
I'll have to consult the books.
I won like the first like main challenge. I won, not the roast, the presentation ones. When we all had to like pitch our business ideas, I won that one.
Okay, I don't even remember anymore what they were from week to week.
You don't seem like a very.
I won the whole thing.
You don't
so
seem
that's
like
all
a very
that
grateful
matters.
winner. You don't see. I hope Marta hears this and sees this and takes away your title, because I don't think a winner should be talking like that.
Never.
I don't think a winner should be like forgetting challenges.
The title can never be taken away.
Well, there hasn't been a second version.
Exactly.
Of
the longest running winner.
Your reign has run very long.
That's true.
Long time. But yeah, so I remember having like real contempt in my heart for you.
Because you thought I was going overtime.
I know you were going overtime. I didn't think, I knew. And you also did this thing where I was like in my head and I was like, oh my God, I need to figure out like what I'm going to do about my show, because we're actually running out of time and I know I'm not going to get my full 10 minutes. And I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm kind of like spacing out like in a corner, and Annie's on stage performing, and she gets up in my fucking face trying to be funny and like get my attention, and then she shouts at me. She's like, you better pay attention, bitch, like this is my show. And I was like, I'm actually going to like beat the shit out of this girl after the bar closes. Like, actually, I'm going to like order a drink. I'm going to get like a vodka Red Bull. I'm going to chug that shit down. I'm going to take the glass, smash it against this bitch's head.
I don't remember any of this.
I'm going to pull
She probably
off her
thinks
wig.
about it every day.
I'm going to like rip her heel out from underneath her. Like, I actually had like a plan about how I was going to get antibiotics.
Was this the semifinals?
I think it was like top 5.
Okay.
Top 5 or top 4. But yeah, anyway. I got over that.
Thank God.
Because then
we're not even going to get into the drama of what happened on the last 2 weeks of the show, are we?
Maybe for another episode.
We'll save that. That needs its own episode.
There's so much more.
This competition could have its own episode. It was so insane.
Oh my God, that's another great episode idea.
Alex, write it down.
It's so true. You can host. Yeah. But the long and short of it is that Annie eventually won the competition.
Yes, I did.
Annie ran a show at Red Line for a few weeks before it didn't do very well.
That is not true.
So then they came to me and they asked me.
It ran for months.
They asked me to join
My
Annie
first time.
because she needed the help.
That's why you're called Lorelei, because you lie.
And that's why you're called
Annie.
Because you're anything but talented.
Ah!
Bitch.
Rude. Where's my fan?
Clap that.
It's not a good clacker. Anyway,
they asked me to join
So I won. So no, tell them what really happened.
That is kind of what happened. But no,
that is
Annie
not what
did
happened.
Annie did her show.
I did my run of my show.
Yeah, she did a run of her show. And then it was like a new season. They needed to figure out what they were going to do for programming for, I think like it was the next year.
Yeah.
And they had the idea of pairing Annie and I together.
Well, no, it's the Halloween show.
Well, that was our first. Our first show together. We did a Halloween show together to like announce to
see if it would work.
Our business relationship. Yeah. But what was your honest to God first reaction when they like text you being like, what do you think about working with Lorelei?
Well, yeah. So they texted us both individually and asked that, like, what do you think of working with the other person?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't really know her that well. Like, we got to know each other a little bit, but we didn't like.
Yeah, because we weren't like hanging
BFFs.
out. No.
We would just like do the competition, talk about how insane it was, and then leave.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, oh, I mean, I always have liked to collaborate. I like working with other people. I feel like it brings out the best in me and usually the other person too. So I was down for the idea, but I didn't really know if our styles would mesh or our personalities. Because like I said, we didn't know each other.
We are very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm interested. If she's interested, I'm down to at least meet with her and talk about ideas.
Yeah. I remember they messaged me and I was a little confused just because I was like, I was like, this bitch is really like different from me.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know what they were thinking. So I was just kind of like, well, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
So we met at a restaurant, a vegan restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Are you vegan? No, you're just vegetarian.
Yeah. I was vegan at that point.
Okay.
We can get into that. That can be a whole other episode too.
Yeah.
Diets.
Anyway. Yeah. Diets. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
And I actually have a day job where I work closely with
diets.
Nutrition and diets. So that would actually be work. Yeah. But we met at this restaurant.
Mm-hmm. We realized we lived in the same neighborhood.
Yeah,
we didn't know that
we
before.
lived
We're like very close.
10 minutes away from each other.
Yeah, if that.
I walk to Annie's apartment all the time. And yeah, I thought we hit it off.
Yeah, we were just hitting it off. We were trying to come up with show ideas, what we thought it could be.
I thought we got on like a house on fire.
Oh, we are flamers. Uh-oh. You okay?
Don't ever say that word again.
Okay, I'm sorry. So then it was kind of just like off to the races, as they say.
Yeah, and
we did a show.
We started doing a monthly show, and it was like we started with one.
We started with a competition.
yeah, we started with the competition, and then we got another show that
Yeah.
was a bingo show, and then we kind of moved through a lot of small
Yeah,
projects,
yeah.
and it was very clear to us, I think pretty early on, that we were like a good team
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
I think like at my like I have like a vivid memory of like pulling you aside at like think like our third show together or something.
Okay.
And I like pulled you aside and I was like, I really like working with you.
Mm-hmm,
Or like
mm-hmm.
I made it like really
Yeah,
clear
yeah,
to you.
yeah,
Do you know
yeah,
what I
yeah, I
mean? And you were
remember
like, thanks.
Yeah.
She was like in the middle of something. So she was like, okay. But yeah, I remember having like a vivid moment where it's like, it's sometimes like when you get on with someone, I don't know, like if you asked me when we were doing the competition if we would be such close friends, I would have been like, no way.
Yeah, well, I think I could, yeah, going back to like thoughts about you before we even met is like, I could tell you were talented from the clips I've seen and obviously from the performance I saw in person. But I was like, I thought you were very full of yourself, which is a turnoff to me personally. So I was like, this bitch is talented. I will give her that. But also she knows it, which I don't like.
Okay.
So I was always like during
wow,
the
so we're really going in like that.
Well,
huh?
I'm saying, but then during the competition too, when the cast of the competition.
Now, do you see how I tried saying something really nice to her about wanting to be friends with her and stuff, and then she turns it around on me, talks about how arrogant I am?
Hey, this is the
well,
dichotomy.
how's this, bitch? I always thought your makeup was ugly.
Well, I know you still do, but it's all right. And then when the cast list came out, I was like, everyone was like, oh my God, Lorelei, like all your friends are very like into commenting. And I was like, oh my God, everyone wants this bitch to win. She's going to win. Everyone loves her. So I was like going in kind of with that on my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, now I love you, of course.
Yeah. And we've been working together, but we thought that it would be a really fun exercise.
Yes.
To dig deeper into each other's stories, learn more about each other. And so what we have for you today is basically the original villain origin story, which is our senior year high school yearbooks.
Oh my God. They're both silver, or yours is gray.
Mine's like gray, yeah.
But yeah.
Look at this fucking like
mine is so
dictionary
skinny
of a fucking. So
we're going to get into this. But just to recap, I won the competition. We started hosting shows together. Now we love each other and work together all the time. Duets, hosting shows, etc. Okay.
You'll learn so much more about us the more you listen.
Yes.
And like we hope that you do. And we also want to hear from you guys. If you're listening to this, please leave a comment below about like something from your villain origin story.
Yeah. Tell us your senior yearbook.
Or if you have any observations about LA drag, like please let us know.
Or the drag scene in your town.
Or the drag scene in your town. And like don't be afraid to make it spicy. Like that's what we're here for. We're not part of any major drag podcast network. So like we're really off the hook here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We like that's like our vibe. Anyway.
All right. How are we doing this?
How are we doing this?
Okay. Well, so what year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2016 from, should we say our school?
Yeah, sure.
From the Orange County School of the Arts.
So that's a performing arts school, yeah?
Yeah. So I grew up in Orange County, California. My parents were super chill, but it was a very conservative environment. I went to an art school, so it was a little bit better. But that like waspy white women behind gates, like if you watch like Real Housewives of Orange County, that is Orange County, and like that's kind of I feel like where I get a lot of my like personality from. Do you know what I mean? Not like being catty or mean, but just kind of like the grandeur and the drama and the glamour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I did go to this arts high school in Orange County.
Okay. And in 2016, you graduated?
What about you?
Oh, my God. I graduated. Well, I'm from Michigan.
Hey,
Detroit, baby, here. Hey.
Go blue, go blue, go blue.
Hello. So I graduated in the year 2000, the year of our Lord, from Sterling Christian High School.
Okay. So she went to a Christian school.
Yes. So this is I haven't looked at this in years.
Should we just start by maybe finding our senior year photo?
Yeah, so my school was the opposite of a performing arts school. I begged the English teacher to put on a play, and they finally did, and then they didn't cast me.
Oh, no.
I got all my friends to audition. I was like, this is going to be a good way to make friends. And then they didn't fucking cast me.
Well, okay, so again, this is the difference between like an art school and a Christian school, is my school yearbook, as you can see, it's so thick, and there's an index in the back.
Oh, people signed yours?
Yeah, should I like read
some of these?
Should I like read some of the things that people signed?
Let's save that. I found my page. But y'all, I went to a school with 11 people in my graduating class.
Wait, show them.
2 girls.
2
And
girls out of everyone?
Yes, I came into the school as a junior. This yearbook, how skinny it is, this is kindergarten through 12th grade. Yeah. All these people had been going to school together their entire lives, and then I show up junior year of high school and I'm like, hey, be my friend too. They were like, no bitch.
No bitch. Damn, that fucking sucks.
Yeah. So I found my page.
Why don't you show them?
Okay.
I'm like still trying to find mine. I'm not
Well,
gonna lie.
this is like the senior year, and we'll show. I don't know if you can see this. Can you? But anyway, it's the senior, so I get a little quote. It shows my date of birth.
Yeah, I have mine now too.
My favorite Bible verse, of course.
Okay.
My favorite hymn, as of course anyone wants to know.
Did you show them? Did you show the camera?
I showed them. Yeah.
Okay, here's mine. I'm right here. I don't know if you might not be able to zoom in that bit where my nail is right now.
Oh my god,
that's so me, right?
So cute. You have color pictures. Mine are black and white.
Yeah, these are
before color was invented.
This is our senior portraits. Did you get a superlative?
No.
Okay, I got a superlative, bitch.
We didn't do that. It was against the Lord's will, so we didn't talk about
what was your quote or your? Mine was "Good night, moon." That was my fucking senior quote. Can you believe that?
Wait, that's the quote itself, or what quote?
That was my senior quote. "Good night, moon" from "Good Night, Moon."
What does that mean?
I don't even fucking know. I think I was trying to do like an inside joke. But you know what my junior year one was?
Do you have a hat on in that picture?
I have a hat on, which is like really, really uncharacteristic of me.
You are like in Glee. That's like a headshot from Glee.
This is literally a headshot from Glee. Oh my god, I wish I can get closer with this. I don't know if there's.
We can put in inserts of a better.
Yeah, we'll put in inserts here, but
because I'm in a. You are in a hat and like a blouse. I'm in a full on tie from like the men's suit warehouse.
Wait, let me see. Show me.
And with like a center part.
Oh my god! You're so cute! Wait, keep showing me, bitch. I want to see it. Wait, here, why don't we switch?
Okay,
actually?
let's switch.
Yeah, here, why don't we switch? Oh my god, this is so funny. Okay, so...
What are you pointing at?
That's a great question. What am I
Was the photographer just like, point at this and look happy?
Like, have fun! And I was like, I like am the type of person that actually went and got like senior portraits done. Because
we had to.
Everybody in my school was like getting like senior portraits,
with like the number, like the year, you're like posing against it.
Yes.
Wait, okay, so what is this little 5-act thing above it?
I was there for 5 years because it's 7 through 12.
Oh, and you're an actor.
And I graduated from the acting conservatory. Yes.
Oh, and the only thing it says about you is your quote.
I know. So what does it say about you? I can't believe it. It says so much about.
Well, remember there were 11 of us.
Right. Well, do you know what Romans 8:38-39 is?
No. Okay. So first of all, they asked what our favorite Bible verse is, and mine is Romans. What is it?
8:38.
I don't know. I wish I would have looked it up. Romans 8:38. Anyone know? Where are
if you know
theologians out there?
This Bible verse, Romans
write it in the comments.
38-39. Leave it in a comment below.
It's probably like man shall not lie with another man.
Wait, first person who lists the Bible verse in the comments gets a giveaway from me and Annie.
Ooh, I wonder and the beautiful Petty Cash Studios. Hello, that's where we are. By the way. Thanks, Petty Cash. All right.
Always keep faith in God and go to Him in everything because He will never leave you.
Sorry, read that again. They asked for words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. Always keep faith in God and go to Him in everything because He will never leave you.
Oh my God.
I think it's kind of romantic.
Oh. Yeah. So this is like a Baptist school. This is like we went to like church. We had like Bible classes every day. They would yell at us. This was like Baptist fire and brimstone when we go to the services. This was like we were praying before lunch.
Okay, so at this
we
point,
didn't have a prom. We had a junior senior banquet.
At this point though, did you know you were gay?
No. I came out at 30, which is also, you came out how old?
Okay, yeah, so this is also a big difference between us. So I came out when I was 12 years old.
And I came out when I was 30.
Which is just like crazy. Yeah. I couldn't imagine, and not in like a shady way.
No, we'll probably get into this all, but this really is, I feel like religion is my villain origin story.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
So.
Me not knowing how to react. Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Okay, anyway, back to your pointing picture.
Wait, okay, so do you have more of yourself in here or no?
Yeah, there's like pictures of me like doing things.
Because I want to pull up one of my villain origin stories.
Let's do it.
Which is that
my favorite hymn is Amazing Grace. That's a little basic.
Your favorite hymn is Amazing Grace.
And I was in the honor society. It said my future plans were undecided. You know why? Because they would only help you with college if you went to a Bible school. And I didn't want to go to Bible school. So
oh my God, stop. Are you serious?
Yes.
So wait, where did you ended up going to?
I went to Oakland University, which is just like a liberal arts school outside of Detroit as a theater major. But I started off as pre-med, then I went to business, then I changed my major to English, and then I finally ended up in acting, which is what I kind of really always wanted to do. But at this school, they didn't know what to fucking do with someone who wanted to be an actor. Come on.
I literally could do like an entire, like one of these episodes, I could do like a deep dive. Maybe one day when you're sick, I'll do a deep dive on like the scandals that surround my high school. I have like this school, the Orange County School of the Arts, is like entrenched in scandal at the moment. And now they have multiple locations and stuff, so it's kind of crazy. But one of the major things that happened to me that really is like a villain origin story for me is we had these senior tribute pages that parents could rent out in the yearbook, you know, like you either get a full page, a half page, or a quarter page, and you leave a message for your graduating senior. Now, my parents are not sentimental at all, in the sense that have you ever heard of Every 15 Minutes?
No, I mean,
so there's this like school program called Every 15 Minutes where they basically simulate like a drunk drive car crash at your school, and then they do this whole program about how like every 15 minutes someone passes away from drunk driving related incidents.
Oh my God.
And they would bring this to our school basically to like traumatize us, and they did it to like it was like a school program thing. Like I've been like listening to people talk about this, like if you had Every 15 Minutes at your school, like, you know. But one of the things that they do is that every 15 minutes they pull someone out of class to like represent someone who like dies every 15 minutes, and then there's a funeral that's held for them the next day. Yes, this is so dramatic.
Where do those people go? Were you ever one of the ones?
I was one of those people.
Did you have to like really act it up? You were like, no.
So I was sitting in English class, and they had this whole thing where they were like, we need your parents to write an obituary. Because what's going to happen is we're going to have someone come in dressed as a Grim Reaper. It was so crazy. But they would read our obituary to the class and then like come and collect us and take us out of class. Meanwhile, all the kids who were being collected out of class, we got to go to like a hotel. We got to like hang out. We did workshops about like drunk driving, you know what I mean? And like what to do in like drunk driving situations. It was like really a great time, a great overnight experience for me. But my parents were required to write an obituary. And tell me why they wrote the most basic ass obituary. I was actually like offended. I was like, that's all you have to say about me?
I know, but can you imagine like as a parent trying to like actually write your kid's obituary?
If my kid came up to me and was like, I need you to write an obituary for a school project, bitch, I would go in on that thing like it was a mother.
That's bad, like
play.
juju. I wouldn't want to do that.
I would be like writing that like poetry. Like I'd be putting pen to paper on that nightly and like thinking about like how I could put in more allusions, metaphors. Like I would really try to hype up the poetry.
I would make mine ridiculous. Be like, well, he was the King of England, but I don't know, some shit like that. Anyway.
They literally were like, Cooper was a good kid. Cooper liked theater. Cooper was a good singer. By the way, my out of drag name is Cooper, in case that wasn't clear. But I was like, what the fuck?
You were like pissed.
I was pissed off, and then that Grim Reaper took me out of class. I was like, bitch. I went home to my parents. I was like, do y'all not give a fuck about me? So this happened. This is what I would get.
Child.
I was the third child, but
I didn't care about that.
On top of that was, I gave them a draft of what I wanted my senior tribute page to look like, and I told them it needs to look like this.
Okay.
And they did their own thing. And they put in their own material. They totally went against the mood board. I'm all the way down here. They put my fucking baby picture in there. They quoted me about the time where I said to my mom once when I was a kid that my spirit animal is a peacock. I don't know like why my parents are trying to get me like canceled like that. Because like a white person should never be saying that they have a spirit animal.
Oh.
It's like offensive to indigenous cultures, but like my mom putting that in there is like literally trying to set me up. Like this bitch was literally trying to set me up. Like she's literally trying to fuck me over. She's trying to like show everyone a version of me that is not me.
She's repeating words that you told her yourself. You admitted it.
But that was like a version of me that like she had no right to like bearing so vulnerable. That was a version of myself from a long time ago.
Look at this kid.
Show the camera.
Sweater. There is a picture of me winning the Twinkie eating contest, which...
The twink?
We love a twink.
Oh my God. Show the camera that, because that's foreshadowing, bitch.
Hello. You know.
So you didn't win any superlatives.
We didn't have superlatives.
I won most likely to travel the world.
Wow.
Did you know that? And
I did not know that.
That's
no.
fitting because next year we're going to be taking a show that we wrote to Sydney, Australia.
Hello. Come on, Sydney.
That will be a really fun podcast episode too.
Yes.
We can record it from Australia and then send it to you.
Yeah, if you have any Sydney tips of fun things to do, let us know.
Oh yeah, if you were from Sydney, Australia and you're hearing this, we're like two Americans looking to do some fun shit in Sydney, Australia. Like,
get into some trouble.
Yeah, right.
We'll be there in September.
You can come too, Alex, if you want.
Oh, hey.
You'll probably be busy, but...
SHABLAM road trip. Oh, we did get to go to the Europe for my senior trip. That was nice.
Europe?
Yeah, for 2 weeks. But we didn't get to do anything fun. We had to go to like church.
But how would you like sum up your high school experience overall?
Well, I went to 3 different schools in 4 years. So I think I would sum it up as all over the place a little bit. I always loved school. So I think in any situation I would be okay. But it was a little like, you know, I didn't want to be a pastor. I didn't want to be like a choir teacher. So they didn't know what to do with me. And I feel like that kind of sucks. But
do you feel like your inner child is still healing from that?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
And that's why you do drag?
Exactly, probably. Anyway, Sterling Christian. I don't even know if this school exists still.
I think like my like doing drag like heals my inner child because like I felt like such a weirdo growing up. And especially like even at an art school, I still felt like a weirdo. Do you know what I mean? Which was very like, that's like a weird feeling. And so like doing drag, like I actually feel normal. Like I feel like not normal as in like I'm trans, but as in like I get to be like this wild version of myself. And I feel like it actually aligns with like how I feel in most case scenarios, which is like the odd one out. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm not resisting up against it so much. And I feel like drag, like, when you're told your whole life that you're weird or that like you're a bad person or something like that, you start to like internalize that. And I feel like drag is like a good opportunity to like step out of that and kind of like take a glance at it from like an outside perspective. And I feel like a lot of like my self-growth has come from like graduating from high school to like doing this podcast episode now. I feel like so much of my growth has been like because of drag. Do you know what I mean? I can
see that. Yeah, I think I was laughing at it earlier, but I do think that drag has kind of helped me heal my inner child, so to speak, because like when I was younger, I was not allowed to sit like this. If I sat cross-legged, I would get made fun of or told to stop. Like if I cried or whatever, if I was hurt, they'd be like, walk it off, don't show emotions. So I feel like in drag for me, it just allows me to be who I want to be and like show emotions to the fullest extent. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the performer I always am in and out of drag. It's like very large. But in drag, that's like not only accepted, but it's like celebrated, which is really nice.
It's like more permission to be yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a little silly and fun.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
I had like people write me these notes.
Do you have anyone famous from your class?
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
One of mine went into like opera, but I don't know what happened to him.
Let me see. I have someone who went on Broadway.
I don't talk to any of these people. Do you talk to your high school? Anyone from high school?
Yes. Shout out to Chanel. Shout out to Haley.
Hey.
Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Jake.
Oh.
Shout out to... You know what? I don't really talk to these ones either, but I'm really good friends with them still. Just like from like a heart place. But Nicole, Annika, Elisa. Shout out to Noah. Noah, I know you're out there. Shout out to... Miranda.
This is more people than were in my actual class at this point.
Shout out to Jeremy. Forgot about Jeremy. Jeremy lives in San Diego.
Hey, Jeremy.
Shout out to Rhea.
Well, all these people better listen and subscribe. What is this CD you have in here? Is that like
I guess this
your
is
demo
like,
track?
It's like a digital yearbook. Maybe we can like go through that and find some good shots of me.
Oh my God, someone wrote like a novel.
People were writing me novels. I was really beloved.
Well, that's what you're saying. You were a weirdo outcast. Why your whole yearbook is filled with nice things your friends
I know, but you know what? It's different when you're putting on a version of yourself for other people to enjoy.
Yeah,
I really relate to like the sentiment of like masking and like feeling like when I'm talking to someone, like, I feel like I have to, like, give them the reactions that they want and stuff. And, like, so much of my high school experience was just masking through emotions and, like, masking through friendships. I have, like, kind of, like, hard memories of really feeling like I couldn't be, like, my authentic self and stuff like that. Even though I was in an art school, the creativity portion wasn't really the problem with it, or the fact that I, like, had, like, these really, like, extravagant creative impulses that I wanted to do, like, theater, or I was interested in drag. It was more so just, like, social situations. Like, I was just kind of an awkward kid, and I, like, went around things in a way that, you know, other people might interpret as, like, strange behavior. Do you know what I mean? But I think when you're, like, confused as to who you are, and, like, you feel like other people think you're weird, you don't really have, like, a good basis of, or, like, self-confidence. I was just, like, an insecure kid. Do you know what I mean?
Get it. Yeah.
So, I mean, drag definitely helps with that, but...
For sure.
But thanks for, like, kind of, like, bringing up all my, like, insecurities and my trauma.
Anytime. That's what I'm here for.
And that's what we're going to do, like, in future episodes of this podcast.
Yep.
Get into it. Like,
yes,
we are
it's
two
gonna be fun
drag
looking
queens.
at my yearbook now.
No, yeah. We are two drag queens. We love drag. We love life.
True.
And,
Yeah.
like, I think our goal with this podcast is to, like, share our friendship and, like, our love of life and our love in drag with more people. And, like, inspiring fun conversations. And, like, if you're listening to this, like, thank you so much.
Yes,
like,
thank you.
Just thank you. And, like, I hope that you're along for the ride.
It's gonna be a wild ride.
You. And yeah, do you want to, like, sign off? We want to do this thing every week where we give each other, like, a homework assignment.
Oh, right.
What do you want to, so what do you think? I would really love if you would get into watching the latest season of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I think you would really enjoy it.
This is the thing. Lorelei is a huge, what is it, housewife head?
What
are the fans called?
A housewife, just like a Housewives fan. If you watch Housewives, let me know in the comment below what franchises you're watching, and I can, like, kiki with you.
She's trying to convert me. I am a fan of Dorinda Medley, so we will say that. She's my number one.
I tried getting her on Roni, but she wanted to start with the season that was currently airing, which was the new one. So it didn't really have that same magic as the old Roni. But Salt Lake City, with this current season of Salt Lake City, is like vanguard television. Like, it is like, so, I think it's going to get, like, a Critics' Choice Award. I'm not even kidding.
Okay, is it on Hulu?
It's on Peacock, but you can borrow my password.
Okay.
And so can all of you. If you leave a comment below asking for my Peacock password, I'll DM you.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Wow, that's reason enough to subscribe.
Right.
Okay, so how many episodes are there? Is this going to take, like, hours?
Well, if you start now, you can catch up to where we are now. I mean, they haven't finished the season. It's still going.
What season is this?
I think it's season
Am I going to be, like, completely
5.
lost?
No.
Because that's where I haven't started. I'm like, there's so much lore and history.
You can start this season and be fine.
Okay. All right. Then my homework for you is I want you to watch a Christopher Guest movie. Have you seen one before?
I think so. Name his movies?
I want you to either watch Best in Show or Waiting for Guffman.
Okay. Sure. Why not? And viewers at
I
home,
think
if you want to play along and follow our recommendations too, we will touch base.
Yeah, we'll check in
at the next episode about our homework assignments. So thank you so much for listening.
Yes, did we SHABLAM our villain origin story? I think we did.
We might be able to get into, like, I think we opened a lot of, like, boxes of different conversations we can go into.
For sure.
And there's a lot to explore, and I'm excited about starting this podcast journey with you. It's so nice to finally have an avenue where we could just talk and be ourselves.
Right. Anyway, we hope to see you next time. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Petty Cash Studios, beautiful Los Angeles studio, for your podcasting needs.
Let me see that booty bounce.
We need a theme song.
Yo, yeah, we do need a theme song.
We'll figure it out. Stay tuned.
Yeah, hopefully we can get it right here.